Hi guys, everybody watching us right now, mediacube podcast, Rome and Ivan. Hope you're having a great time, and we hope that next 20 minutes will be useful, exciting, and interesting. Thanks for staying with us. If you feel like commenting what we're talking about, don't hesitate, drop your comments. We're open to discuss everything. What we're going to discuss tonight. There's a pretty exciting topic relevant for all creators who are gaining popularity within their communities. Like, for instance, you may become relatively popular in some small country, maybe let's take Poland or Czech Republic, and there's quite a lot.
Lithuania.
Or Lithuania. There's a logical wish after that to scale up your presence on YouTube to gain more audiences from other countries. And there are actually strategies and life hacks of how to do it. There are do's and don'ts, and there are successful cases when local creators scaled up their YouTube presence to millions and millions of audiences in other countries and linguistic locales. So tonight we're going to talk about how to scale up your presence on YouTube and how to expand your content internationally.
Yeah, that's right. So I think we should separate all the efforts that might be done on YouTube into two different ways. The first way is the one that YouTube provides you with. And the second way is when you create something separately and upload on a different channel. So what shall we start with?
Okay, let's start with what YouTube can do for you, not what you can do for YouTube.
On the first place, you can subtitle your content into different languages, and the number of languages is just enormous. You know, like any language that is there, that YouTube is located into different countries, so you can use any language and create subtitles. And then the viewer from any country can choose the language he would like to see as subtitled in a subtitled video and read along together with your video. If this is the correct way for them to consume the information.
Subtitles can be switched on and switched off by a viewer.
Yeah, correct.
Mm-hmm. Right.
For example, I know that Korean audience, for example, they prefer to watch any videos in a silent mode, just reading the subtitles. And that's why it's kind of cultural peculiarity that differs them from the other world, from the rest of the world. And it means that even local creators that who create content in Korean language, they always create subtitles, even embedded ones, not just the ones that can be switched on, because the normal way of content consumption is without sound at all.
Right, yeah, interesting. So subtitles is number one tool.
Yeah, and the second way that can be implemented right in your Creator Studio is that you can translate your video title and video description into as many languages as you want. It's the same thing as it works for subtitles.
Right, which means that if a viewer, say from Brazil, is watching your content, he will or she will automatically see your title and and what thumbnail.
It depends on the language of the browser. If the guy from Brazil uses the browser in Portuguese, it means that he will see the local title if there is one for this particular video in Portuguese language.
Got you. Let's get back to subtitles a bit. As far as I know, this tool is not. It's not perfect, let's put it this way. I mean...
you mean the auto-generated ones?
Yes.
You can upload your own.
Oh, right.
Or you can correct the ones that has been auto-generated.
Right, great.
So there is no problem with that at all.
Got you, all
and
right.
it works pretty well with English language.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right, got you. Say subtitles, then captions and thumbnails.
Not thumbnails, titles and descriptions.
Titles and descriptions can be automatically translated to any language you like.
Not automatically. Subtitles not translated automatically too. You can just if the content is in English,
Right.
YouTube can auto-generate depending on the voice that it detects in the video, and create auto-generated subtitles in the language that is in the video.
In the original language.
video.
And then what happens
And
then?
then if you want to add a translated version of subtitles, there are different ways how you can do this, but not auto-generated. You either upload an already made SRT file,
Right.
or you can add them right in the Creator Studio by typing
Oh,
in.
got you. Well, interesting. Yeah. All right.
The same thing with the translation of titles and descriptions. It's not automatically translated. It's always done manually.
Right. Well, this is smart.
Yeah.
I mean, not to rely on artificial intelligence, which is not yet perfect
right.
as a technology.
This approach works pretty great for the content that does not have much speaking in the video. For those countries where it's not an appropriate way for them to read along with the video, they would like to have the voiceover in it. And so these approaches, when you translate titles, subtitles, and descriptions, it works pretty well for those videos that do not have much speaking in the video.
Mm-hmm.
So it means that kind of DIY content, it works great. Something that there is no speaking at all in the video. When you can translate the titles and descriptions, and it helps the audience understand better what is going to happen in the video.
That's right.
So, and sometimes such videos can become pretty much popular in different countries, and it doesn't depend really much on the original language or the country of the creator's origin.
Right. You mentioned one interesting thing it was difference in perception by representatives of different cultures of either subtitled content or or voiced over content. If you can just give a couple of examples, like where it is more preferable to have a voiceover and where it is more preferable to have subtitles. We have Korea, right, for subtitles.
Korea, and not only Korea, but I think pretty many Asian countries are like that. They really sometimes prefer to read the subtitles, sometimes in English, sometimes in their own language, especially when the original content is in English. They try to learn the language this way.
Which is smart.
Yeah, which is smart. And I think it's also pretty okay for Slavic countries, maybe.
Subtitles or voiceovers?
The same thing. I think subtitles. For example, when there is an English content with Russian subtitles, it's also a good way to learn the language, right?
Right. It works as a way to learn or master your level of English.
Yeah, right.
But on the other hand, like we're from here, it's not a secret, like we're from the Russian-speaking community on YouTube. And culturally, it happens so that, for instance, if we take movies, we have no tradition of putting subtitles into movies. Like we have a strong tradition of voicing over.
Yeah, this is because not all the big movies are being voiced over here for Russian-speaking audience because it's huge. But when, for example, we take Czech Republic or Lithuania or Poland or something like that, even in theaters, they can read subtitles along with the original English content.
Yeah, that's right. If we take Russia, where there is a majority of Russian-speaking viewers, well, I would argue that subtitles is a good way to localize content in Russia. Voice dubbing is better.
Yeah, but when you, for example, choose to watch a creator from the US, and there is a possibility to read the Russian subtitles when you are watching YouTube, for example, I think it's a good way for schoolers or for students to catch some more, like specific or urban or slang words that can be used in real life.
Yeah, that's right. Well, anyway, it's up to objective, up to an objective of a viewer. Okay, so we have subtitles, we have translations of descriptions and titles, and are there any other tools provided by YouTube?
Not much, not for YouTube. not the one that is integrated into the Creator Studio. So
Well-
it's just we have only translation of subtitles, titles, and descriptions. And one more thing. Sorry, I've forgotten. You can also translate the name of the channel into different languages.
Oh, yeah. Right. Interesting. Cool.
And the description of the channel. Sorry.
Everything. Yeah, everything. What can a creator do him or herself? Like, are there any strategies that can be implemented effectively?
Yeah, when the content is not about some specifically local things, that if the content is about something that is interesting in different parts of the world, in different countries, that can be interested in different cultures, so you can also voice over your videos. And this is something that we as a multi-channel network do.
Yeah. I know there are several very successful cases.
Yeah, I will talk about one. We have the content about experiments, different like something about explosions, about something that,
Pop science.
kind of, yeah. The guy is from the Ukraine. The original content is in Russian. And we have the voiced over version of this content into Spanish for Spanish-speaking audience.
Yeah.
And the channel grew within 2 years into the channel of almost 3 million subscribers.
Right. So
The original channel is about 6 million.
yeah. So like 50%. 50% of the original
right.
amount of subscribers.
And it brings 3 times more money than the content in Russian because of CPMs in different regions.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's an exciting case. Yeah, we told the other guys about what the content is about. But as far as I understand, as far as I remember, this creator does not show up in his videos. This is just things and actions, and obviously no influencer there.
Actually, there are sometimes there are heroes in the video, and we even can see their faces, but it doesn't make them influencers for this particular kind of type of content.
Right, guys. We'll probably put a link to these 2 channels in Russian and in Spanish underneath our video for you to check it out.
Yeah, sure.
Right. What did we do for this creator as a multi-channel network to help him grow in Spanish-speaking markets? Like, what were our actions?
We do everything. So we actually run the channel. So we take the original content, we translate it into Spanish, we create the voiceover, and we also upload it to the channel and make the optimization. So it means that we create titles, descriptions, the field of tags. It's all about us.
So guys, if you have a similar content, like to what you see underneath our video, experiments, pop science, we have a ready-made solution for you to get your content localized.
Or even any type of content that is appropriate for any culture, any region.
Universal.
Kind of universal.
Like if you create DIYs, experiments again, whatever, just check out our case. I mean, it's really impressive. This is just one example. We have more. So if you feel like expanding to other locales, especially Spanish-speaking, like we have a successful case here, go ahead, join mediacube network, and we'll see what we can do with your content. So, right. Are there any other things that can be done by a creator?
I think it's time to talk about that they cannot do on the platform.
Yeah, don't. Yeah.
So we just touch upon this topic. It's popular mistake by the creators to think that creating a separate channel without voiceover is a good thing for them to do, but it's not. When there is such features that I talked about earlier, that you can create the localized subtitles, titles, and descriptions, and you just create the separate channel and embed the subtitles in it without making the voiceover. So it's wrong thing to do because you can be demonetized because of the reused content.
Right.
Because everything can be done on your original channel with internal features that YouTube provides you with. You cannot create a channel without a voiceover and upload the same content just with embedded subtitles.
Right. Which means like YouTube is promoting added value.
You're right. Yeah. On one hand, they are promoting their internal features of localization of the content, and they would not like to have the same content just with subtitles on a separate channel.
Right.
So they are striving to leave only the content that have added value.
Great. So don't embed subtitles, or you should somehow modify your content.
Yeah,
put it this
correct.
way, to get your content localized in other markets. If you create separate channels for that, for different cultures or locales or markets.
Yeah, and from this perspective, I think that one day YouTube is going to introduce a new feature where you will be able to upload different voiceovers into one content and into one piece of content. It's going to work like Netflix does, for example, right now, when you can choose not only the subtitles, the language of subtitles,
right,
but the language of voiceover. And it will mean that YouTube will not promote any more separate channels localized into different languages, even with the voiceover. But I haven't heard that they are going to implement it in the near future, but I think it's coming.
Right, but so far you can localize your content by adding voiceovers and making separate channels. Another thing I wanted to discuss, and it's really a pretty exciting and lucrative thing, and a fruit that actually everybody seeks for, and a fruit that everybody's striving for, Chinese market.
Yeah, that's right.
It is complicated. It is, I would say, strange. From our perspective. I'm sorry to use the word
and it's
strange,
very hard to get into.
Yeah. So right now we're going to have a sneak peek of what's going on there, and maybe if there are ways or strategies that you can implement, or just try to implement to see what it will eventually lead to. So let's discuss this one.
As far as we all know, that China has blocked the access to Google and YouTube and other stuff like that. They do have their own search engine. They do have their own video platforms. They do not have Google or YouTube there. Of course, everyone can use VPN, but I think it's pretty much a common thing in China. But their local video platforms are much more popular than YouTube. And there is not just one platform like we are used to, because we know YouTube, and there are not so many alternatives here for the rest of the world. But in China, there are pretty many different platforms from this perspective, and they feature different types of content. They can be long form or short form. They differ from the point of view of subscriptions, or different from the point of view of how the ads are shown there. You either can have a subscription, paid subscription, or you can just watch with the ads inserted in the videos, just like YouTube works. And some platforms are only available with the subscription, something like that. I can't say that I'm pretty much experienced in it, but I can name several platforms that are pretty much popular there. On the first place is Bilibili. As far as I know, this is the most appropriate platform for YouTube-like type of content. The same type of content is Youku. There are also pretty many other platforms like ET, like Tencent, like Haokan is a relatively new platform by Baidu. And they have their own version of TikTok, which is called Douyin.
Well, actually, TikTok is a version of Douyin. Initially, it was Douyin in China.
Okay.
Yeah, really. And then when they tested all the features,
they just have their own name in the country.
Right. They expanded to the outer world with TikTok brand, but initially it was Douyin in China.
Douyin, yeah.
So
initially it was Musical LY.
I mean, yes.
musically.
Yeah, well, the story goes like this: there was Douyin in China, and there was Musical.ly in the United
It was
States.
ByteDance that bought Musical.ly, and
Right,
they just
right. Once they had the whole audience of China of like 2 billion people at Douyin, they thought, guys, yeah, it's time to get global. And what they did, they just bought Musical.ly.
Yeah.
That's it. So that's how TikTok emerged, and it's killing everything around.
That's right.
Right. So, is there any chance that a popular US YouTuber can become popular on any of those platforms?
Yeah, and there are pretty many cases. We unfortunately we do not have a pretty good one, but we do have the creator from, as far as I remember, from Pakistan, and we tried and we managed to deliver his content into Bilibili platform.
Mm-hmm.
And they have over 100,000 subscribers right now. They even got, like YouTube-like button where it says that they reached 100,000 subscribers on Bilibili. This is one case that is pretty successful.
Right. If we maybe you know this, maybe not, but it's interesting anyway. So I was talking about cultural differences and actually censorship in China.
Yeah.
Because this is specific. I mean, not all types of...
This is very specific. And there are some things that you might think, why? Why do they do this? For example, you cannot upload the content where a man wearing long hair.
Yeah.
You cannot upload the content where you can see the tattoos on the hands or anywhere. It's something... weird things that differ their cultural approaches to the content from this point of view.
Yeah. Is there any document where you can read all those restrictions or not? You know?
I think there is one, but on the first place,
the Chinese Communist Party manifesto.
Yeah.
Don't wear long hair. Don't make tattoos.
Yeah. No piercing too.
No piercing.
In the nose somewhere. What is one of the most difficult things to deliver the content to China is that you cannot do this from outside China. You need to have the local partner in there who will do this for you. Because otherwise there is no way not just to upload the content, but to get any money from the content that you're featuring in China.
Right, but there are companies and there are solutions?
There are pretty many companies, and we work with some of them on different projects, and we're still, trying to understand how it works and which company is better to work with. And I think in the future we will showcase something that we've done there, and we will welcome you guys to try this land, to try this audience where your content is not featured right now.
Right, we'll do our best, definitely, because China is a very exciting piece of cake.
Yeah, that's right.
Maybe this is going to be the last question, but how are monetization issues solved in China? Can you earn?
Yes, you can. Definitely, you can. There are different types of monetization models, and they are much more difficult than YouTube ones because they are taking into account pretty many different signals, different indicators from the point of view of how your video is gaining views, how popular it is, how they have certain levels of creators, and it also affects the amount of money that you can get from it. And it's not like, and it's not really transparent, I would say. Mm-hmm. It works in a very difficult, through the very difficult algorithm, and you just cannot sometimes understand why you've earned this or that amount of money, and you will not, I think.
Well, definitely compared to CPMs in Europe or in the US or in Russia,
CPM
they're very low there.
Yeah,
I think.
It's definitely lower than in the rest of the world, and it's even less than $50, I think. But anyway, it doesn't mean that their ads are cheaper.
Yeah.
This is the amount of money that they're paying you.
Yeah, because the audience is huge.
Yeah, the audience is huge, and many English-speaking or Spanish-speaking creators are going into this market with the voiced-over content, and they're becoming pretty much popular over there.
Great. So anyway, there is a chance. I mean, China is not as closed
As
not as
North Korea.
No, it's North Korea definitely, but China is not as isolated as you may think.
Yeah.
So there are ways and there are strategies, and we're working heavily on, as a YouTube multi-channel network, we're working heavily on exploring these ways and strategies and hints and life hacks of how to, for you as a partner, how to bring your content as our partner to Chinese market. We'll help. We'll soon come up with a nice and neat.
And one thing I would like to touch upon is the attempts to expand the content into different platforms, not only like in the countries where YouTube is not available. For example, we're talking about Facebook right now, because Facebook is becoming very huge from the point of view of video platform. And the monetization there is even better than on YouTube, as they say. And we are also trying to get the understanding of how it works exactly. Unfortunately, in our countries, there is no monetization yet, and Facebook is very strict about the location from where your content is being delivered. So that's why we have some difficulties from this point of view. But anyway, Facebook is a very good thing for the videos that are viral, that have the great level of shareability, because the content on Facebook is becoming popular only when it's being shared a lot.
Yeah.
And it's pretty interesting thing also to think about and to consider how you can deliver content into this platform.
Right. So these are future plans as an MCN. Well, definitely, if you join, you'll may be sure that in a short while, your content may be delivered to China and to Facebook. And like we're all the time thinking about different solutions for our partners to make their lives easier and to make them more prosperous and wealthy.
Correct.
Right.
This is what we do. We bring more money to our partners.
Yes. So let's be winding up. Thanks for this talk, Roman.
Thank you, Evan.
Yeah. If you have any comments, don't hesitate to leave them underneath our video. And once again, make sure to check our case with a Russian-speaking channel, localized to Spanish-speaking markets. It'll be done.
Not only Spanish-speaking market, we are localizing content into many more languages. We're localizing it into Chinese,
right?
Into French, into English, into Russian, etc.
Yeah, right. But we'll have just this one case underneath our video, like 2 channels in Russian and in Spanish, for you to check out. But bear in mind that we have a lot more opportunities to help you with reaching out for different countries and different communities. So let's be winding up. It was mediacube podcast. See you in a week. Bye-bye. Have a great rest of the day.
See ya.
Bye.